And it's over a $500,000 decrease from last year's aid, so that obviously is a pretty significant hit for our district. With no increase to the revenue limit, had our aid came in at the amount that was last year, our levy would have been even less this year, which would have been good for our mill rate, it would be good for our levy. But we're one of the few districts in the state that actually saw our state aid actually get reduced, and so there was a handful of districts, predominantly districts that generally run a robust summer school like we do. And so the summer of 2020, when COVID was first starting, most districts weren't running a summer school program. We did not have a summer school program. And so those districts who ran an expansive summer school saw an aid reduction for this current year. So hopefully we'll get some of that back next year, now that we have summer school this year. Per pupil aid was a slight reduction of $6,678. And so I'll get into the levy amounts in a second on the next agenda item, but you can see on your change adopted budget document there, $340,314 increase in the state or the taxes line, of the $299,137 reduction in the general aid line, and then our other state sources an increase of $56,513. Total net changes to revenues was an increase of $97,690. And so what that will take is at the annual meeting, we had an anticipated deficit for the current year of $591,867. That'll reduce that down to $494,177. So that's probably one of the lowest projected deficits we've gone in the year with for a while now. So unless something unexpected comes up in the budget, we usually bring our budget in under, and so we should easily be able to capture that and have our budget by the end of the year end up being either even or in the black, I would expect. Questions on the changes?
Okay. If there are no additional questions, this item does require action. Somebody would like to make a motion?
I move to approve budget adjustments for 21-22. Supported by Ron.
A motion by Nikki and a second by Tim. Additional conversation? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by voice vote by saying aye.
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 All those opposed, nay. Motion carries. On to approval of the 21 through 22 district levy.
As I said at the annual meeting, our levy actually has been pretty steady for a number of years, which means that our levy rate has been reducing as some of the property valuation has increased. Our final levy after the adjustments we just talked about came in at $12,414,655. So that's actually a 0.32% increase from last year. So again, basically flat. At the annual meeting, we were projecting a 2.43% decrease. The difference is that our state aid fell, so obviously our levy went up a little bit. Our property valuation, which at the annual meeting we were doing a conservative estimate of a 4% increase, actually came in at a 6.72% increase. Our district valuation is now about $1.35 billion is what our district valuation currently is. This will bring our mill rates to $9.20, our levy rate in essence. We were projecting at the annual meeting $9.18, so basically pretty even with what we projected at the annual meeting. However, it's nearly a 60% reduction from what our levy rate was last year. Last year was our lowest levy rate in over 30 years. We've now decreased that by another 60 cents, so we're far and away the lowest levy rate this district has seen in a number of years. So, as I said at the annual meeting, I can track it back to basically 1990, and we know from experience that the 70s and 80s had higher levy rates than once revenue limits came into being. So it's I can say with certain it's the lowest in over 30 years, probably close to the lowest in over 50 years, I would expect. I would just need a motion to approve the levy.
Do you have a feel, Ron, do you have a feel for the historical property value increase over time? How does that compare to the 6.7%?
Typically, we're always at about 2 to 3% a year. We did have, in Monroe, we're a little more level than the state averages. So when state property values were increasing at a much faster rate there for a number of years during the early 2000s, we weren't growing as fast as the rest of the state. Correspondingly, when the market fell on property valuations, we didn't. And it also comes with businesses and investments into the community. It's not just home property rates, right? So when that market kind of fell and collapsed, we didn't see the impact that the rest of the state did. We actually kind of kept moving along more smoother as the rest of the state declined. Since then, as the rest of the state has came back faster or higher than we are, we're probably not growing as fast as they are. But if you look at us over time, we pretty much follow the state, just we don't go quite fast on the swings as they do. And so I'm trying to pull up my document here. And obviously there was, nearly a 10% drop in 2011-12 and nearly a little over a 5% drop in 2018-19 again. But otherwise, most of the, oops, I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong column. That's actually our levy adjustments when we had the Act 10 and then when they froze us. The valuations took their drop in, we only saw a 2%, less than a 2% drop in 10-11 when much of the state was going faster. And then we saw kind of a level spot there for about 3-4 years. Meanwhile, if you saw the rest of the state, they were going backwards. Since then, we grow at about usually 2 to 3% a year. Obviously, 2019-20, we took a jump, and that was actually when the TIF for the ethanol plant was retired. So all that valuation then that for 20 years had only gone to the city, then came back onto the school tax rolls as well. So that was a bonus for us. And then this year's jump also included, the new Walmart properties in there as well. So that helps us as well. So otherwise it usually grows 2 to 3% a year.
Alright, any other questions for Ron on the levy? If not, I'd entertain a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the 2021-22 district levy with fully voted on also. Second.
A motion by Teresa and a second by Terry. By voice vote, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, nay. Okay, on to item C, as an informational item, we're going to report from our district facilities committee.
All right, well.